Osmosis, a three-pointer, looking to continue a career day, and she knocks it down.
Gets the fast break layup and one.
From the studios of 95.7 The Spin.
Who lays it up and in through the contact of Baylor. What a finish from Emma DeHart. Wasn't even looking at the basket when she threw it up.
Back-to-back three-pointers off back-to-back possessions for the Screaming Eagles.
It's The Stein Show with USI women's basketball head coach, Rick Stein.
Lays it up and in, Addie Blackwell, and one.
Welcome to another edition of The Stein Show, the coach's show with USI head women's basketball coach, Rick Stein. In this episode, we get to talk about USI's win against Truman State back on January 3rd, where the Screaming Eagles won and actually came back after a big double-digit deficit. And with good news comes bad news. USI women's basketball was put in quarantine after a COVID close contact occurred during the Truman State Quincy road trip in the first week of January. I'm going to talk to Coach Stein about the win with Truman State and then the COVID protocols. What's it like in quarantine along with the different protocols that have occurred with COVID-19? I've got Coach Stein coming in, and we're going to start the Stein Show right now. Welcome, Coach Stein, to another episode of the Stein Show. We haven't been able to do this for a few weeks due to different things going on, travel. We all understand that, but we are back for another episode, and it's good to be able to talk to you once again.
Yeah, good to see you too, Nathaniel. Yeah, it's again, we're right in the heart of the season here, and obviously we're hoping to keep pushing forward here and get back to that basketball court real soon, and get back to playing some games.
And something that we all missed was a New Year's celebration. You and I did not get to talk about the New Year. So the first question I want to ask you is, it's a new year. It's 2021. Do you have any set goals for 2021?
You know, I'm not a big New Year's resolution guy. We're in the middle of what we're doing as a basketball team, and our goals are pretty much let's get better every day. Let's stay flexible to the situation we're dealing with. Got to stay positive because that's the only way you can be right now. Because no matter what happens, and when it comes to postpone games or changes in schedules or whatever it might be, certainly things that we cannot control. So I just trying to stay in control of what we can control, what I can control, and then stay positive with it, and just take it one day at a time. And that's what we're doing right now, just one day at a time. And the mindset is every day we got a chance to be together. Hopefully we're getting better and improving, and again we'll hopefully looking forward to a great 2021 year for sure.
New year, but getting the same results, getting big wins against top teams. January 3rd, traveled out to Kirksville, Missouri, beat a tough Truman State team from behind, 83-78. Just talk about that win, even though it was such a long time ago. Yeah,
there's a lot of really good things to talk about from that game, and some not so good things too. Obviously, but when you get the results you want, a W, that obviously feels good. One of the things that you got to be careful of, I think, in GLVC play is to not, we try to not label wins or losses too much. A few weeks back, it seems like a season ago, we went on the road and lost at a really tough Indy place, and again, it was a road loss. A few weeks later, we go to a really tough Truman State, and we get a road win, and it was really good. We can't get too down about one loss because there's no upsets in this league. They're all good. But finding ways to win on the road in this week or in this league is it could be separators. Because the road is so hard, and we started the season at home, obviously, and got off to a good start that way, which is good because we knew we were going to have this stretch of road games that was going to be really hard. Truman's a really good team. Their starting five is as potent as anybody's I've seen, maybe even in the country. Definitely in our league, their starting five just can really make baskets, and they make them in a hurry. And certainly they got off to that kind of start against us. That 30 points in that first quarter was that wasn't very fun. one of the things that you and I have talked about is utilizing practice time, before the break, after the break. We came back after the break and after Christmas break. I thought we really had a good week of practice, and we worked on getting better. We worked on situations. Hey, we're down with 5 minutes to play. How are we going to handle it? And we did that every single day of the week. And I think things like that kind of helped us. We were taking it 5 minutes at a time with Truman State because we had dug ourselves a 18-point deficit or whatever it was, and against a really potent team. I thought one of the things that we really got better at when we came back from Christmas was our man-to-man defense. We had to be a better defensive team man-to-man, and we worked at it. We drilled on it, and I think it showed up in how we can defend. Especially in that second half, and we outscored Truman the second, third, and fourth quarter. I mean, we played 3 good quarters. It was just the first one that wasn't very good, and we were fighting an uphill battle the whole way, the rest of the game. Obviously proud of our team, and they're the ones out there. Players making plays. Players make plays, and certainly we try to put them in the best positions to do that. But then you saw some obviously some good playmaking on both ends of the court to find a way to get that road win, and we needed one. Obviously, we're still in the middle of a lot of road games. There's a lot of road games to play, and we're going to have to keep fighting to try to win some more road games. As we get back to it.
78 points was the most points allowed this season. What do you have to say about the defense played in that game?
Well, again, they scored 30 of them in the first quarter. So, the rest of the game, we defended pretty darn well. But you got to credit Truman. They could really score, and they were scoring from everywhere. They were hot from 3. They were making baskets all over the place. I was pleased with how we defended 54 for them. Jasakis, she's a 17, 18 point a game kid and all leaguer, and I think we held her to 4. And she's a tough one to defend. One of the things I'll say about and I think it comes in with how we play. Our depth really was a difference maker. Our bench outscored their bench. I think it was 38-9. 38-9. I mean, that's tremendous. And I thought we wore that team out. I thought we wore them. Their starting 5 all, I think, average double-figure minutes. And we only have one average or 30-plus minutes. I'm sorry, not double-figure. We have more 30-plus minutes a game. We have one, I think. And our depth came into play. We wore on them, and by the end, we still had a lot of gas left in the tank, and they were cooked. And our defensive pressure and intensity really wore them out. And again, we made some big plays down the stretch and on both ends. But certainly to help top off a good victory.
Now the offense for USI was getting really hot, especially later into the game. That second, third, and fourth quarter really came back, and that's what really took over the rest of the game despite that first quarter. But you scored the most points this season at 83. What was really the key to your offense against Truman State?
Well, I could say this. If we worked on anything else, that week before practice, we certainly did work on breakdown offensive scenarios. We had to be better working together and finding, ways to utilize those 2-man, 3-man games, those down screens or single aways or faders or whatever it is, that gets us into good motion and good opportunities to score. And again, I really believe our week of practice that week did carry over, and it helped us to obviously play good basketball and do some things. We got off to a slow start with offensively. I think one of the huge factors for us, in kind of sparking us and getting us out of that was Meredith Raley. I mean, she came in. I think she had 11 of our first 22 points or something like that. Raley came in. She knocked down a couple threes. She made a couple big plays. And kind of sparked us, got us moving, got us going. It's nice to see that ball go in the net, one time, 2 times, and that just kind of opens it up. And again, just talking about bench play there, Yeah, obviously, but that's just just one of the examples. Meredith really, I mean, she kept us, in the right place in the hunt early, and then I think we all just kind of sparked from some of the things that she was doing, especially offensively.
And one player that did not make the road trip was Hannah Haithcock. She was not dressed or at the game against Truman. If you could talk about the reasoning, if not, that's okay. But how did that affect the game overall?
Well, yeah, obviously, anytime you don't have, a full team, it affects you. And but one of the things I said from day one, we've played 7 basketball games and we have not had a full squad yet. A full healthy squad yet. At Indy, we had 12 there. Addie Blackwell was coming off that sprained ankle. She got a few minutes in that basketball game just because she was just trying to get back. But if you have some scenarios where you're gonna make excuses because you don't have a player, then we're going to be 1-6 right now because we haven't had players throughout the start of our season, and moving forward, you don't know how that's going to go anyway. How's that going to change? I don't know if it's going to change at all. But again, I think we have 12 really good players, and every game, the mindset is everybody's got to be ready to step up and play their role and be ready to go. And I definitely think you saw that at Truman State, and I think you've seen that throughout our season so far. And hopefully we'll have everybody back and everybody's healthy and ready to go every single game. But you never know that. I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen. But we just got to be ready to keep moving forward and competing the way we are.
And you mentioned a little bit about Addie Blackwell spraining that left ankle and then coming back strong against Truman State. She recovered well, had 11 points. What do you have to say about her performance?
Well, obviously she played great, and I still wouldn't call her 100%. I think she was as close to 100% as she's been in a while. But just to see her back out there in the court moving, the way, that ankle sprain she had really, it took away her abilities to cut and move and explode. And, it's an ankle sprain. I mean, anybody who's had one, they know it stinks. They're not fun. And they take a while to really get back, from, but certainly, her leadership on that court is extremely important. Obviously, her production is too. I mean, she produced. I mean, and she's a player that can produce for us. With made baskets, assists, steals, those kind of things. I think her free throw percentage is number 1 in the league, and she gets to the line. And not only is it number 1, she gets there. She finds a way to get us free throws, and let alone her leadership on both ends of the court. So, it was good to see her back. Absolutely, it's great to see her back, and certainly hope to keep her healthy as we move forward and keep her on that court, keep her playing.
And the final player I would like to highlight from the Truman State game is Ashlyn Brown. Had a career high 17 points against the Bulldogs. What do you have to say about the way she played?
What Ashlyn is really, I thought she's getting back to herself. Again, the inside play for Truman State with Jasakis and the other post players, a Division I transfer from Illinois State, I think it is. And you're talking about 2 players that are off to really good starts. Ashlyn really, she utilized all her strengths, when it comes to the offensive end and rebounding the basketball, but also defensively. I just told you, Jasakis had 4 points. I think it was her season low for sure. And so again, it's not one person doing it. We defend as a team for sure, but that was the matchup coming out. That was a matchup coming out, and she was on her a lot. So, again, Ashlyn was a player that I've said it before. She came in as fit and strong and ready to play as I could want, and anybody could want. And then she missed 5 weeks because of a high ankle sprain and some quarantine time. So, that 5 weeks, that's a long time not playing in the middle of the season. That's more than a month here. That's a lot of days. And Again, I think when we came back from Christmas, that week of practice definitely helped her. She's getting those legs underneath her a little bit too, and they certainly showed up in her play on against Truman State, and I don't think there's any question. Now it's just she'll keep her on the court so she can stay consistent with it, and her best basketball is still coming yet, and obviously outstanding game. It's just going to keep on going, hopefully.
And a stat that really is, I guess you would say, staggering is the rebounding. There was only 29 rebounds made as a team. What do you have to say about, I guess you would say, the lack of rebounding against Truman State?
Again, the first quarter, I think they shot 80%. There's not many rebounds. There's just not. When it comes to sometimes the stat sheet shows, some things, and sometimes it doesn't. Obviously, I think both ways. Obviously, I don't know what the final stat line was, their rebounds compared to ours, but the way we shot the ball those last three quarters too ended up with very few, defensive rebounds for them too, but also offensive rebounds. If you're making baskets, there's none to go get back and get a second time. So, the rebounding, battle is something that we talk about all the time, and how important it is. And again, we like it better when we are defensive rebounding, because that means they're missing shots, and then we're getting a chance to go the other way and hopefully make a run. But again, I think that's one of those stats that ebbs and flows with the type of game it is, and it was just that type of game.
And I forgot to write this stat down, but I did remember it whenever I said the word staggering, because 2 turnovers is by far the lowest amount of turnovers that USI women's basketball has had in program history. What do you have to say about the lack of turnovers against Truman State?
Well, if there is an amazing number, a staggering number, that's probably a good, that's probably a good assessment of that. I think we're a basketball team that our turnovers should be between 12 and 15 every game. And if it is, then we're one of the best in the league. But you get a 2 turnover game. It definitely, now that's a stat that definitely showed up and said, wow. But again, we when we dug ourselves to that hole, we had to have that. We couldn't trade baskets. We couldn't give them more opportunities for scoring. And so, as we move forward into that game, we did such a good job of take care of the basketball and finding the right spots in our offense to get good shots. And again, I keep saying it, and I don't want to beat it up, but I think the way our players practiced that week before, and the intensity level they had was really I think helpful in the win, and how we played in the win, just 2. I guess 2's the best ever, huh? I figured that'd be, if it wasn't the best, man, I don't know what is, but that's well, if we can hold our turnovers to 2 every game, I'm gonna like our chances, Nathaniel. I'm gonna feel pretty good.
I'd put my money on you guys if you were just having 2 turnovers a game.
Man, oh man.
But even with some good news like winning a tough game against Truman State, there are some downfalls throughout the season. Quincy, McKendree, and Indianapolis, those 3 games were postponed due to COVID-19. Could you talk about the postponement and, if possible, maybe a reasoning?
Yeah, obviously our whole mindset from top down, and not only here at USI, but in our league, and certainly on our campus, and let alone athletics, is health and safety first. And obviously there's protocols that are in place to make sure that we keep everybody healthy and as safe as humanly possible. And when you run into symptoms and some things along those lines that cause concern, obviously you can't brush them aside these days. It's not like, oh, well, I don't, we'll see how that is another day or whatever. You just can't do it because, with COVID, it just not not smart for sure, and it's not safe and healthy for sure. So we had that. We ended up with some symptoms that caused concern, and with that said, it was an easy decision. Players and coaches want to play every game. We want to play every game. We don't want to miss a game, and my gosh, it stinks to not have played. But the decisions we made were 100% right, and putting not only our team and our coaches and our staff and personnel, safety and health first, but also the other teams. I mean, if we're going to go into Quincy University and play them, and we could have maybe made sure that we were smarter, then that's one of those things that you certainly don't want to do that. I would hope that any team would do that for us. If they had symptoms and somebody just wasn't feeling well and they were heading to our gym, I'd hopefully I'll take that phone call and tell them, yeah, don't come. It's okay, and we'll play it another day. So with that said, we've already rescheduled a few of our games. Indianapolis is rescheduled for January 26th, I think. I think that's a Tuesday. That will be a home game and turns into a doubleheader. I think our men have one that night too. I think McKendree is going to be rescheduled for February 22, which is a Monday. Basically that's the last week, regular season week. And we're still working on the Quincy game and just trying to find the right case scenario to when can we hit them. Quincy's not down the road. I mean, we got a lot of long trips this year and trying to find, that minds, how do we hit them and not have to go around the block to get there. So, but again, we're trying to play them all for sure, but we're definitely going to do it in the safest way and healthiest way possible.
Now, with these postponements, that'll make nearly 3 games per week, possibly 4. Are you worried about these high number of games per week for your team?
Well, there's obviously always concern, but here's the thing: we came back and we were at Truman, at Quincy, and at McKendree all in 1 week. I mean, that was scheduled by the league. I mean, so yeah, I think that when we get to this time of year, players are ready to play anyway. They want to play games. Coaches want to play games. It's very little practice time anyway. Our prep time will be shorter on some weeks, and it's just there's no way around it if we want to get games in and if we want to be able to reschedule. I think the thing that would concern me most is the lack of play and keeping our team game ready and keeping that game rhythm going. We've played a lot of good basketball so far, and then we're going to take off. I don't know how many weeks it's going to end up being, but there's a lot of days in there off, and of course we have a return to play protocol here that's a 5-day scenario too. So it's not like, hey, you're back to it now, let's just go full go. No, we've got protocol that we got to kind of build back up each day, and it takes 5 days to do it. So and it's right, it makes sense, and because you certainly don't want to have injuries or other things that come about because you're just thrown back in there and you go again. But those things, that takes time. But and also you can lose a lot of those things that you have and have already built up or whatever it is. Certainly hoping that our team, our coaches can make sure that don't happen, and that we stay the course and keep building on the play that we've had to this point, which I think has been some really good basketball. And I've said it a number of times, I think our team's best basketball is still ahead of us. We haven't peaked yet, but again, it's real important that to get there, you got to consistently stay on that basketball court, and certainly hoping and praying that we get to do that here as we move forward.
The next possible game for USI women's basketball is that Lewis and Illinois Springfield trip. Is that still a go as of now, or is that up in the water?
No, as of right now, I mean, we should be good for that basketball game. But barring anything else, things. Again, Nathaniel, that's one of the things I keep telling our team. Again, we got to stay flexible. Anything can happen. barring test results and things that we're in the middle of right now, but also what's happening on the other end. Lewis, I mean, again, our men are traveling right now. They're going to different games because other games get canceled. There's no way to know for sure on anybody's end how it's going to look. It could change in a matter of hours, and it did when we were on the road. I mean, it did at Quincy. It changed in a matter of hours, and again, we just got to be flexible that way and stay ready for whatever might happen. And again, as of this very second, our plan is to be playing basketball at Lewis next week and at Illinois Springfield next week.
And with COVID, of course, there comes the quarantine that no one really likes, but really need to help everyone stay safe and stop the spread of COVID. Really, what do you have to say about your quarantine experience for the first time really in this basketball season?
There's nothing fun about the quarantine. There's nothing, it's needed. It's what everybody should be doing if they had, a scenario that we had with the possibility of close contact stuff and those kind of things. Certainly think about our players and their health and safety and staying the course and being smart and doing everything you can to make sure that, it's, we're not spreading it, we're not moving it on to somebody else. If we have it, and again, some of that's is ifs. But again, I come back to my house and, again, I have my wife's here and, things like you don't want to bring it back home. And so the mindset to stay away from people, quarantine, wear masks, social distance, do all the things you're supposed to do. It's the right thing to do. It doesn't make it fun. I can't tell you that it's been a fun experience because it is what it is, but work hasn't stopped. Obviously it's just changed because so much of it has been obviously keeping our players in the know, keeping them updated and keep checking on them and making sure everybody's okay and staying positive that way. Also rescheduling games, trying to put a total different schedule together and stay the course with what's left. Again, we're mid-January. I mean, it's not start over time because we are in the middle of the conference season and a conference race. We're in the middle of that race right now. And, so even in quarantine, we don't, again, it's health first. We want our kids, all of our young women to be safe and healthy and then, but at the same time, stay the course and try to keep preparing them for the rest of the season and hopefully some more good basketball by USI.
Now, how have you been able to contact your team? Has it been through Zoom, phone call? What have you been doing to, I guess, keep an update on all of your players and staff?
Yeah, mostly it's been that phone. It's been FaceTime. It's been calls. It's been texts. Some emails. You could do those things pretty quickly in the spur of a moment, and certainly trying to keep up with all, like I said, all these young women and coaches alike, and as well as our team, and just staying the course that way. Definitely you do your best to keep that team, aspect, unity and bonding and everything else. And we've been doing it this way all year anyway. The only thing that we haven't been able to do really is get to the basketball court. And we hope to be able to do that here really soon.
And practices, of course, not being able to go to the gym. Are you having your players, I guess you would say, maybe not work out, but just prepare for future games from a distance at home? How is that working out?
Yeah, the thing is even with GLV CSN, the abilities to watch games, the abilities to still keep up on the league and to watch our future opponents. So yeah, we've definitely try to watch games that way together and just communicate to our team that so and so is playing so and so tonight, and if it's on this or that, we can still synergy gives us abilities to still send off some game film and tapes and things like that. But again, there's no workout. There's no, hey, let's go, get out there and run or do something like that. It's basically all virtual. It's this way, and just trying to stay the course. With our team, with through these avenues right here.
And when is the set date for practice to resume?
Some of that is pending testing. We did tests yesterday, and the possibility we could even see a basketball court later today. But again, that's all result. That's all pending results, and how and when and how we hear back. So we're waiting for results and see to see how those turn out, and then see where we're at and what's going to happen, and then as soon as we've been cleared through all the powers that be in places that need to clear our team, then we'll find a way to get out there as soon as we can. Again, there's a 5-day return to play protocol, so we want to certainly get back out there as soon as we can, so we can start moving towards towards live play and playing against other teams, competing against other teams on our schedule.
And now, what precautions will you take to reduce the chances of this happening again? Is there anything that you are wanting to, I guess, increase on, or something that you might want to change and let your team know about to prevent another COVID scare?
Yeah, you know what, and Nathaniel, I think we've done everything we could do. I mean, I'm so proud of our coaches and our players. We've stressed social distancing, staying away. I mean, these players have been around basically nobody, but they're our own team. Masks are worn at all times except when we're in the middle of competition or practices. Heck, we have masks on when we're in the weight room. We have masks on when we're stretching before practice. We meet in the middle of the court before and after practice. We have masks on, and we social distance. Obviously, when teams disperse and they get back, go home for holidays and things like that, there's some things that you just can't control. But I know that every single one of our players did their best, and all it takes is one droplet from somebody who has it to find you, to find your nose, to find you breathe it in, and so even people who do the best they can, there's no way around it. And again, with the protocols and rules, CDC, again, when you're on a bus, there's no way to for a certain amount of time, there's just no way to stay away from a close contact if somebody did have it. Again, I don't think there's anything better we could do. I don't think any of our players did anything wrong. I think they have done everything that is humanly possible to stay healthy and safe and keep everybody around them that way. But it's a worldwide pandemic, and it's running through people. And again, our team's health and all of our team's health is first and foremost. And certainly as we move forward, we're not going to think anything differently. And if we have another scenario where we end up with symptoms or something like that, we will take them seriously, just like we just did, this last week, as we move forward. So again, I think we've done all we can do, and we're going to continue to do that. And then we'll, certainly just, stay positive with it. And hopefully we're going to get a chance to play more basketball.
And once practice resumes, how will you make up for lost time on the basketball court?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're these first, 5 days in that 5-day return to play. There's some real protocol and standards that we have got to go by. We can't even. I think the first day is we can't get our team but up to 70% of their workload for more than 15 or 20 minutes. So a lot of it's going to be just getting our legs back underneath us in a matter of just getting moving again. So much of it, I think, will be skill related. Let's get a ball back in their hands, and that's what they want, man. Everybody wants to get a ball back, but the progression will just kind of go daily, and it'll lead up to some contact at that 4 and 5 day period where you can go live and really get your team going at full speed again with contact and live play, and then of course then after that then you just move forward in a regular way. Our days won't be any different off of that. In a way, we how can we improve still? Even though we cannot go 100% have contact, can we still improve things? And I definitely think we can. Certainly, we'll be doing some skill stuff, ball in hand stuff that are going to help our basketball team, and shooting and whatever. Our free throw shooting can get better. We know that. That's something our percentage got to go up. So there's a lot of ways that we can improve. That's going to be our daily goal. How can we get better today, and then just keep building back up to live play, and then hopefully be ready to put it to use in our next game out.
Now, the 5-day recovery setup you said or mentioned and talked about, is that a GLVC or USI protocol?
A drink there. I'm talking too much, I guess. That is. I think that's a league rule. That's a total league rule. That's one of the pillars of that the league has sent out. And that list of pillars is long and detailed for a reason. Again, the committee to get us back playing and get us back out there in that court safely and healthy in the right way is real. And again, just because you have the ability to get back out of the court doesn't mean you could do something that's detrimental when it comes to other health scenarios and put yourself in a position where kids get hurt or something else. So the mindset is right, and to slowly build these athletes back to where we want them to be, and then be ready to go after that.
And to end this show on a good note, the GLVC points rating system came out with a recent standing having USI at second, just a couple, I guess you would say, half points, maybe a full half point away from that top spot. What do you have to say about the point rating system and where you're at right now? Well,
obviously that's the thing that matters. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're in divisions, and would we like to compete and win the East Division? Absolutely. There's no question about it. But the points rating system is a thing that they utilize for postseason play for the conference tournament. And again, you're going to have almost half the teams in our league not be in that conference tournament. That we have less teams in our league in a conference tournament than I think any other league in the country, or tied for the least amount percentage wise. So it's hard to get in this conference tournament. Postseason in this league is not easy, and it's all based on that rating system. So to be where we are right now is good. That means we've beaten. That means we're winning, number one. But number two, we've beaten some good teams, and you get more points, for road victories than you do for home victories. When you go percentage wise, if the team's over 75%, over 50, over 25%, those kind of things, it matters. So when you beat a team like Truman on the road, their record is good. So we're going to get more points for that win than we'd even get at home. Those road victories really do come into play when it comes to the system. So, yeah, there's a lot of season left, though. Every day that'll change. Every day we could win a game, it could go down. Just depends on who we play. So, but the consistency of it matters, and hopefully we can stay consistent and keep winning some basketball games. And the top 4 teams in the league will host a first round in this conference tournament. So, 1 through 4 will host 5 through 8, and I certainly want to be in it, but I wouldn't have any problems playing a home game to start this thing off too. If we're in it, hopefully when we're in it. But there's that changes daily. I've said it a million times to my team. Take care of ourselves. The rest of the league will take care of itself. if we just keep playing USI basketball and keep doing what we're doing as the season goes on, I think we're going to have good success. The rest of the league will take care of itself, and then wherever we end up is going to be, we're going to be ready for hopefully postseason play.
All right. Thank you once again, Coach. I want to wish you guys the best of luck during this quarantine. Again, stay safe, stay healthy. I want to be able to broadcast your games in the next couple of weeks.
Sounds good, Nathaniel. Hey, good talking to you again. And yeah, I hope to see you in the court real soon.
Good luck, Coach. And again, stay safe.
Thanks, man.